Well, the debate over policing in America is not only getting silly, but it's getting a little dangerous as well, and a little unbelievable too. Hey everyone, it's Chad Hasty, host of the Chad Hasty Show, which airs weekday mornings 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 a.m. KFYO. Hope you're having a fantastic day. So we'll kind of start things off here. The latest with these protests, these riots that are breaking out across the United States. Everything is now racist. We know that now. Now, everything's racist. Drew Brees, the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, he was, I guess, being interviewed by Yahoo Finance when they asked him, would he revisit his stance on taking a knee during the national anthem. And paraphrasing what Drew Brees said no. When I hear the national anthem, when I see the flag, I think about my grandfathers who served in World War II, and I stand with them, and I stand with those who fought for this country. Even though Drew Brees has taken a knee alongside his fellow Saints players in the past, not during the national anthem, but before the national anthem, or maybe it was after, but it was on the sidelines. Even though New Orleans Saints Drew Brees has donated money to Hurricane Katrina relief, to the city of New Orleans, to many different organizations around New Orleans, because he will not take a knee during the national anthem, and he wants to recognize his grandfathers and stand with his grandfathers who fought in World War II. He was labeled a racist. LeBron James, fellow Saints players, went after Drew Brees and basically called the guy a racist. Drew Brees, of course, had to apologize because that's the mob mentality now. Once you're attacked, you have to apologize. And even Drew Brees has to say, guys, I'm not a racist. I'm sorry. I stand with you. I am all for criminal justice reform. I am all for, there being equality in America. It's Drew Brees having to say this, for God's sakes. And so, that's where the conversation went. And then on Thursday, the conversation went from everybody is a racist, and also a lot of cops are really bad too. Now we have to defund the police. According to The Guardian here, headline from The Guardian, movement to defund police gains, quote, unprecedented support across the United States. The movement to defund police gaining a significant support across America, including from some elected leaders, as protest over the killing of George Floyd swept the nation. For years, activists have pushed for U.S. cities and states to cut law enforcement budgets amid a dramatic rise in spending on police and prisons, while funding for vital social services has shrunk or disappeared altogether. Government officials have long dismissed the idea as a leftist fantasy, but in 2020, leftist fantasies do come true. The recent unrest and massive budget shortfalls from the COVID-19 crisis appear to have inspired more mainstream recognition of the central arguments behind defunding the police. And if you think this is some just outlier that it's out there, a former spokesperson for Hillary Clinton took to Twitter to say it's time to defund the police. That's right. Former Clinton press secretary Brian Fallon took to Twitter on Thursday, took a little bit of heat as well, for calling to defund the police as the nation is gripped with protest and riots against police brutality. The defund the police movement gained traction by Black Lives Matter activists following the death of George Floyd. Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley asked Fallon on Twitter if now defunding the police was the official position of the Democrat Party. Senator Ted Cruz took to Twitter as well and tweeted, Hillary's press secretary makes the 2020 Democrat agenda clear. Defund the police, take your guns, cheer on rioters and looters who burn your city. It's like Mad Max at Thunderdome brought home to America. You also had Richard Grenell, former acting director of the National Intelligence, calling on the Biden campaign to condemn the rhetoric immediately. Quote, Obama Biden Justice Department spokesman calls for defunding police. Grenell wrote, this must be widely condemned by the Biden campaign immediately. I'll tell you what. If some of these blue cities where you see where a lot of the social unrest is going on, right? You look at the social unrest that's happening. You look at where the major riots are. They're major blue cities. They've been Democrat-controlled cities for decades. Look at Minneapolis. Minneapolis is so-called this progressive city, and yet people keep going and voting for Democrats who keep putting folks in the same position that they've been in. And now the Democrats want to get rid of the police. They want to defund the police. Okay, it hasn't worked out well where you've seen riots in the past, like in Baltimore. Some places in Baltimore, the police aren't even patrolling as much as they used to because of riots that happened in the past. But I'll tell you this, if some blue cities and blue states want to go ahead and say no more police, you guys try it first. Let us out in, the rest of the world know how that works out for you, because I don't think it's going to be fun living in a place where there are no police officers, and where there are police officers, they don't have equipment, they don't have guns, and they don't have a way of taking the looters and the rioters to prison. But you guys have fun with that if that's what you want to do. Tune in to the Chad Hasty Show weekday mornings 8:30 to 11 a.m. Central Time on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO. Have a great day.